Okay, I am live.
Mhm.
Good evening, everyone. I have an awesome show for everybody this evening. Just get ready for very compelling story. It's touched me. I will say that. Just being someone who is from Baltimore City, being born here, I should say, but grew up many different places. But this is one of the toughest cities, one of the roughest places, essentially, in the United States, at least. To live your life. So, just to hear some of the tales and some of the true stories that's happened to people, I just think it's deserving for people's stories to be told. So, sit back, relax, feel free to ask questions. This one is going to be an awesome show.
Mhm.
And you all know how I like to start my show out there. So, you all get ready because the show is about to start now. Good evening, everyone out there. Thank you for watching another episode of Speak Your Mind. I know this show has been moved around a couple different places, but the show must go on, as they say in show business. Without further ado, I want to bring in my very, very special guest. I want to thank her for even finding the time to come on this show at this hour of the evening on this fine Wednesday. I want you all to give a very warm welcome to a Miss Gwendolyn, Levi. How you doing, Miss Gwen?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you for joining us this evening. I know you got a big weekend coming up. It's this weekend, isn't it? The 20th and the 21st. You have a big time play premiering Saturday and Sunday, correct?
Correct. It's the Rudy Williams production. All that glitters ain't gold.
Yeah, I'm
Very
going to
compelling
actually.
story.
Yeah, I'm going to actually put that information up here so everybody could see. Um, there we go. So you all could just read the scrolling information there about what days her play is showing and also where it's going to be showing at. And as this show continues, you're going to obviously be able to continue to look at that so you can get that information for yourself, lock it in. I know it's short notice, but the tickets are only $25, as you can see here as well. $25. So you can get tickets at the door, correct, Miss Levy?
So
Oh, excuse me,
correct,
Levi.
they are 35.
The correction tickets are $35,
Oh,
and
I'm
yes,
sorry.
there will be some available at the door.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. Yep. So $35. I will change that as this show continues. But let's bring in everybody else and welcome in the other people that are part of this production as well. And we have a Miss Tamala Tucker, and we also have Miss Sherry Wilson. Welcome to the show, Miss Sherry
Thank
Wilson
you.
and Miss Tamala Tucker. How are you all doing this evening? Sorry, my voice is, you can hear my voice is getting a little hoarse this evening. I'm like struggling with my words, but I just want to welcome everybody. We will change that. The tickets are $35, not $25. Okay. So anyway, welcome to the show. How is everybody doing this evening?
Great.
Great,
Great.
great,
Great.
great.
Good, good. So just real quick here, since we have a full cast this evening, um, who what particular roles, and I'll start with you, Miss Tucker. What role do you actually play in this particular stage play, All That Glitters Ain't Gold?
So I am Mr. Rudy's partner, and I'm the co-producer and the director of the play.
Okay, so eh, co-producer and director, those are some pretty big titles uh, to have to wear, and that's a multitude of hats that you've partaken in this production. How tough was it for you to have to play such a significant role, and do you feel as though it went well? I mean, thus far, just a couple of days before the play actually takes place.
I have no complaints. It's been great. It's been a great experience. The cast made it easy for me. Everybody was willing to come together and be a team, and now we are a family. And it's been very conducive to me because everybody communicates and love on one another, and it's going to be a blast.
Wow. Okay, so I got to move quick. I'm gonna scroll around the screen here. I'm gonna go right to you, Miss Sherry. What what particular role and how do you partake in this production? What do you bring to the table for this production? All that glitters ain't gold.
I'm playing Nurse Dawn, and I just have it going on.
Okay. Oh, you're the young lady on the poster. Then
No,
is that's not you? Okay. So who was the
not the
young
leading
lady?
role, but
Okay, that's not the okay. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry because I wish I actually had the poster. I should have asked Mr. Rudy when he came on the Speak Your Mind show if I could have had a poster. He didn't have a poster for me, but that's okay though. So you were pretty happy and comfortable with the role you play.
oh yes, of course, I loved my role.
So how many rehearsals does it take for you to get comfortable in stage? I mean, it's not like movies. I'm sure there's some differences there.
Um, we rehearsed. We started out 3 nights a week. Then we started each week. It just more days added on. So up until this weekend now, we're coming every day.
So you all are now rehearsing every day. Well, leading into the weekend, you want to be sharp and all.
Right. As
So what has attendance been like? Have you guys had any issues with people showing up or people kind of getting, as they say, cold feet towards the actual launch date?
well, I've been here since day one. Um, and it's all about compromising and sacrifices. So I'm a part of this family. I want to give my best, and so I'm doing what I need to do. But we're all human, and things do happen. But for the most part, everyone's been present.
I mean, I have to say that's a really awesome thing to say. That's not a given, right? It takes a lot for people to want to work together. People get frustrated a lot when they spend a lot of time with each other and they're not getting along. So for you all to keep a happy environment the way you have, I think that's really awesome, and that's a testament to you all. So even with the interview with Mr. Rudy and Mr. Kemp Earl, they just seem so relaxed and so excited about Saturday and Sunday. Like, man, this thing's just going to go perfect, and I love that positive attitude. I mean, and I'm getting the same vibe from you all. From you all, I mean, it's weird how it just glows. It's a ring off of you. I mean, even you, Miss Gwen. So you tell me about you and your significance before we get into a lot of the true essence of who you are. Tell me about this play and what your part is in the play itself.
I play Dr. Klein, the magnificent Dr. Klein, who does a great feat in this play. I don't want to give it away, so I'm not going to tell you exactly what the miracle is that I perform, but I am a miracle doctor. Believe that.
So you play a miracle doctor in this. And I only read the synopsis of the play and what it was about. And it's going to be interesting what happens to this young lady who had such a fabulous life and to be brought into this rough lifestyle. It's probably going to be intriguing to watch it unravel in front of your face. That's what I did a little bit of theater during my entertainment career, so to speak. So I remember the interest that I had for for wanting to see what I was going to be like on stage and in front of an audience, because it's not like these shows. It's not like a movie where you can the director yells cut. Okay, no, that was terrible. You're gonna have to do it again. Yeah, come on, get it together. I mean, this is real time stuff, and you all seem like you're just ready for this real time audience looking right
Uh,
at you. You're put on the spotlight. I mean, I'll start with you, Miss Gwen. I mean, are you ready for this? Have you been in theater plays before?
No, I haven't. This is my first. And am I ready? We'll see Saturday.
I love it.
I've been trying to be ready. Yes. It hasn't been hard because it's a story that it can easily be told by a lot of women.
Mm.
So it's not a hard role to play based on the story of the play, the story plot. It's not a hard because it's something that I think most women can connect with, and a lot of young men will be able to connect with. It's a story that's told every day in Baltimore City.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it'll be well received. And yes, it was an effort to put forth, being my first time on stage. But like Tamala said, we become a family, and each one helped and supported each other.
I'm so I don't know when I look at you on the screen. I don't know. You do something for me. You're the power that comes within an individual like you. Everything that you've been through, and just we haven't even started talking about that. It's funny. I look at you too, and I'm just like we could always talk about that stuff and go on and on, right? But to see how happy the three of you look is it's amazing. And then your smile, everything you've been through, and you can still just smile like that. Like you do you all know what I'm saying? Like not
yeah,
this world, this life is tough and can be tough. For us to be strong and persevere through everything, and then come out back into society, and one of the first things that you want to do is be in a play. It's just, same thing with Mr. Rudy. I was telling him the same thing. I said, "What in the world inspires you guys to do that?" It's quite impressive, and I'll let you speak on that. Where do you get your inspiration to still be so strong and confident about what you plan on doing?
I wasn't able to hear you clearly.
Yeah, just where do you get your inspiration from to want to even be in a play and to go on, because this is something that you can continue to do.
I don't know about that. But anyway, uh, inspiration, family, mother, God,
Yeah.
inspiration, Tamala
thank you.
Oh,
has
that
been
is
inspiration. Rudy has been an inspiration. To know the amount of behind the walls time that Rudy has done, and for him to come out and want to share his work, his genius
yeah.
with us, kind of let me say, I want to be a part of that. They got something going on. I want to be a part of that. And so here I am.
So let me ask you, what is the connection, the relationship between you and Mr. Rudy Williams?
We've both been incarcerated for a long, long time. We both
Oh,
recently just come home,
yeah.
and we both want to get back to our community. We both want to let them know that, oh, we were on the wrong path at one time in our life, but there's been a transformation. And that transformation is going to be shown through our activities that we do in our community. And this is a community effort that we're doing now.
Yes, and again, once again, it's very, very admirable, very admirable. And I do want to jump in the chat room just really quick here. A young lady who also does stage plays and has one coming up in February of 2022. Her name is Linnea Jordan. She has a question. She's asking, "What is the story about? What is the play about?" We haven't really went into detail about that yet.
It's about a young lady who's making some wrong choices, who's looking at things in a, I would say, in a false way. She's looking at things, not looking at the reality and the totality of her choices. And so that's basically what the play is about. A young lady who's making some bad choices and the life that we live on the streets of Baltimore.
Yeah, and I read the synopsis, so I kind of you already know the gist of what it's about, and I can't wait to see because I'm trying to make it. I can't make it Saturday, so I'm trying to make the Sunday show. So I'm happy that there's two showings this weekend. So I'm going to try my best to be there because I just want to see how you guys are going to really convey this message on stage. And it's been a very long time since I've been at a theater play. So I suggest everybody out there, you have time. They do have tickets at the door. If you're not doing anything Saturday, between what's that again? 6? Did I put the time on there? It's 6. No, I didn't put the time on there.
8 o'clock Saturday.
It's 8
Mhm.
8 o'clock Saturday, and then what time Sunday?
Sunday is at 4 p.m.
So 8 p.m. This is at the arena.
Saturday.
Saturday. This is
Yeah.
at the Arena Playhouse
No,
on
Yes.
no,
801 McCullough
not
Street.
Arena Playhouse. It's at Arena Player.
Arena Player. Okay. So, oh my goodness, all this information on here is wrong. So if you want, if anybody out there that's watching this show live, first of all, I apologize for the information being on here. I wanted to get this, it's getting late. I wanted everybody to get on the show. I wanted everybody to hear about this, hear Miss Gwen's story. So we are going to move on. Some of this information is not right. If you want to find out the actual information, you could always inbox me, and there will be a point I will change it so you guys can read this correctly. Okay. The questions are flooding in, so let me go to the questions. Big shouts out to Selena Polk as well. She said this is very amazing. She just loves you, Gwen. Miss Gwen, I can't even call you by your first name just straight up like that. I felt weird saying that. So Selena says she loves you, Miss Gwen. And she also says here, um, Gwen has been home. Miss Gwen has been home in such a short time and done so much. A play magazine, interviews, Steve Harvey, and now this play. So, and we do have clips, a clip of the Steve Harvey show. Let's talk about that real quick since you brought it up. What was that experience like being on the Steve Harvey show? That's not something many people could say they've done in their lifetime. What was that like?
Overwhelming at some point, but it was an opportunity to let the public know that all is not well with our criminal justice system. It was an opportunity to give back and to talk about others who are left behind the walls and the experience that I went through and how I was able to gain my so-called freedom or release. So it was an opportunity, and I was so grateful that Steve Harvey allowed me to come on the show and to let the public know that our criminal justice system has some things that need done, and there are people out here who continue to do the right thing, continue to try to reacclimate themselves back to our community once they're released. And there's a threat that hangs over their head that they can be returned for technicalities, not new criminal acts, but just technicalities, and they can be returned back to prison. So he gave me an opportunity to talk about that and to let the public know exactly what was going on.
Yes, ma'am. And I did see that interview, and I thought it was quite compelling. And I do have that interview here, and I want you all to just take a peek at this and just kind of feel what Miss Levi might have been going through during this interview. So just hang in there with me and take a peek at this.
But after missing a routine phone call from her parole officer, she was labeled an escaped convict and sent back to prison. After going viral, her story caused an uproar. She was then granted a compassionate release by a federal judge. Please welcome Miss Gwen Levi and her attorney, my angel Cody. How you doing, Miss Levi?
Grateful, blessed, a whole lot of things. But
Wow.
thankful for being here.
Well, no, thank you. Now, Miss Gwen, you were sentenced to 36 years in prison. For what?
For selling drugs. I had kind of lived a double life, raising 6 kids. I got involved in drug selling, and throughout my early adulthood, that's what I did. Raised my kids, PTA president,
You were PTA president while you selling drugs.
PTA president, sent my kids to Boy Scouts, normal things, living a double life.
So you go to prison, you're convicted, you're sentenced for 36 years, you serve 16, get released under the CARES Act. Let's take a look at your family's reaction after you were released.
Oh, oh.
Uh,
So, Miss Gwen, when you thought you were out for good, you were sent back to prison. Explain what happened.
I was on what they call an ankle bracelet,
Mhm.
home of confinement. So I had to report and tell everything I did, which was okay. I'm still glad to be home. I'm glad to be home with my family. I knew that I had to get back into society, prepare myself. I was taking a computer class. Thought I had filled out all the necessary paperwork to my case manager. I take the class, go to the first class, everything's fine. Go to the second class, everything's fine. Get to the third class, and lo and behold, they try to call me. My phone's off. My case manager informs me by text that I'm being charged with escape because I hadn't been, they weren't able to contact me within the 4 hour period. It sent me back to prison. They
Oh, wait a minute.
charged me with escape and told me to report back in.
Okay, you the lawyer.
Yes.
Okay, so she tells them, I was taking a class when you called my phone.
yeah.
Not only did she tell them she was taking a class, she gave the address, the time, the place, the teachers, the video of where she was. And they still said that because she didn't answer her phone while she was in class, she had somehow escaped from federal custody.
They notified her by text.
By phone. They had been trying to
And
call
text.
her.
This is normal. This is legal.
It happens, honestly, Steve, it happens every day. A lot of people think that the only way you go back to prison is if you commit a crime. What happens here is that she was at most disobedient and then she didn't answer her phone.
How long before they come pick her? Do they pick her up? Does she have to report back? How does this work?
Well, immediately I was put on real home confinement. So for every 2 hours, I had to call in. And when I say every 2 hours, I mean every 2 hours. 12 midnight, 2 o'clock, 2 a.m., 4 a.m., 6 a.m. I have to call in and report. On Monday at 2:39, I was told to report to the halfway house. No one was home. My 94-year-old mother, who I live with, was not home for me to tell. And I called an Uber and turned myself in.
She goes back to prison because she didn't answer her phone. She's 76 years old trying to learn how to use computers.
I heard about this story on my radio show. When they found out about this woman right here, man, I'm trying to tell you, it was some people really, really pissed off. It was people in an uproar about it.
I want to pause it right there real quick. So, how does a story like this gain so much national attention? Um, you would think that these kind of things happen all the time, right? What was it about your case, your story that drew so much attention from the media the way it did?
I don't know if it happens all the time, It happens too often, that's for sure.
Mhm.
But I think what it was, the advocacy of the organizations and the family and the people who saw that I was trying to do the right thing, who realized that I had been home for a year and had been doing uh, things that would be not a threat to society, but would help my community. So I have been volunteering and doing some things with organizations. Those organizations were the organizations who, when they found out that I had been reincarcerated, they began to advocate and lobby and do things and get me back home. That's how I got back home. It was due to organizations like Family Against Mandatory Minimums, Maryland Justice Project. I mean, so many organizations that were out there. You know, the National Council of Women, formerly incarcerated women. They're, those organizations, they went to Washington, they marched in front of the Justice Department. They wrote letters to my judge, which eventually allowed me to not just get back out of prison, but to have my sentence reduced to time served. I received compassionate release because of those efforts. And I think that's the efforts that we have to continue because my situation is not just isolated. It wasn't just me. It's about 4,000 some other people who face that threat of going back because of a memo that our president can rescind, and a memo that we're asking him to rescind that says that once the pandemic is over with, 4,000 people will be sent back to prison. It's unbelievable, and people don't know about it. So as many times as I can have the opportunity to speak out and tell people what's really going on, and to say that we need to rescind that, we need to get people who have shown that they are able to be in society, who can be a credit to their community and not a threat. That they're not forced to go back to prison for no reason except that the pandemic is over. So what do you want? 3,000 people to be praying, oh, don't let the pandemic end. I hope the pandemic never ends. Come on now, let's face reality. The pandemic will end, and we pray that it's ending. But we don't want to go back to prison. I've been, because of the advocacy that was done on my behalf, that threat is no longer over my head. But that threat is over the head of over 3,000 some people. That they can be sent back to prison if the president decides to say the pandemic is over. So come on, people. Talk to your senators, your congressmen, your people, let them know it's not fair, it's not right, and it can be easily resolved. You know, next week the president is going to give clemency to some turkeys. We're going to be in Washington, D.C. next week on the 23rd, asking him not to give clemency to some turkeys. That's good and fine. Save the turkeys. But give clemency to them 3,000 some people who the threat of going back to prison is over their head. Let them receive clemency.
Well, again, that voice of yours that
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
so powerful.
Yes.
We and you can see Tamala and Sherry. We're compelled by that. It's we need people like you. I had to witness it for myself. People like you scare other people for some reason, you know, and it's strange how you know, and I don't like to go to the ethnicity a lot. I don't. People that know me know I don't like to go black and white, but it's something that's powerful about a black woman that can do what you're able to do. Am I, just tell the truth.
Yes.
Just be honest with me. When you see that, it's like, wow. I wonder how could you survive on the streets hustling and around a male ran society, you know, trade, so to speak. How does one do what you were even able to do at that time? You know, how tough of an individual does it take to you know, woman, black, white, whatever, to do what you did in those days that got you incarcerated in the first place? What was it like? How did you survive in a game full of a dangerous, rough game full of men that could easily look at you and say you don't belong out here doing what you're doing? How did you survive in those days?
I guess by being honest and having some integrity about what I was. Uh, it was a role that I had to assume. I wasn't raised in that atmosphere. I married into it, and I was able to, I guess, through due diligence or whatever, but I was able to gain a place in that hierarchy. I guess through just being a black woman, and knowing that I could survive among men. I didn't have to be aggressive with them. I didn't have to be overly zealous. I just had to be myself and be who I was, and they allowed me and accepted me. So, yeah,
So what you're saying, what it sounds like you're saying to me is you were accepted into that environment. They they looked at you, and you know who I'm talking about when I say they. I'm talking about the others that are out there or were out there at that time doing whatever you want to call it, whether they needed to or not. They were there, and they accepted you as one of their own. Is that pretty much the way it was for you during that era? You were able to survive amongst thieves, so to speak, right?
yeah, not just survive among them, kind of like thrive. And I say that as a motto when I went in, that I didn't want to just survive in prison. I wanted to be able to thrive, and that's what I did. The same, some of the same, I guess, attributes or negativity or whatever you want to call it that I had on the outside. I had to use those same skills, but I had to use them for a different reason, for a different environment. I had to, uh, that leadership role, I had to become that leader in prison. That woman of integrity, I had to become that woman of integrity inside. So it wasn't so much of a transformation of my personal self, it was a transformation of my actions and my beliefs. Yeah. I had to transform those things into one of positivity and not criminality.
I really don't like. I'm even stammering right now because I'm so impressed with you. Like everything that you're saying is just it resonates so well within me because I was born in Mercy Hospital. I'm from the city. Had my family not had a different plan for me, I might not be here having this conversation with you, ladies. But some of us did not necessarily have that luxury to have somebody remove us from our environment and give us a chance. And I'm always grateful to people who have survived in some of the roughest conditions. And what it is for me is I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason. Can you believe for someone the state to take away that much of your life was for a reason, for the things that you were able to do while incarcerated, like you said, the things that you had planned to do once released. I mean, it's some of our paths are just so unique in what's expected of us, what God has planned for us. It's it baffles me sometimes why certain people have to endure that kind of struggle in order to reach the end goal. Does that make sense? I mean, do you feel that way about your life?
It makes sense, but you have to remember, I come from a good family, a strong family. I mean, my mother's 95 years old now. She's the matriarch of 13 kids and single mother. But we were raised with my grandparents, my great grandmother, and we were raised with those values, and those values never left. So even though you might make some wrong choices, they were choices that I made. My family would have never thought that I would make the choice that I made because that was not the way that I was raised. So yes, you have to know that who you are, and sometime in life you have to face up to the fact that you are somebody. You can be somebody more than what you thought you could be in your youth. I thought that's who I had to be. That's what I had to be to become middle class. I thought that's what I had to do. I was totally, totally wrong. And I want young people now and others to know that that's a route that no one has to take. There are too many opportunities that I missed, too many opportunities that I let go, college opportunities that I had that I blew because of the wrong choices that I made. And this play is a true example of that. A young lady making some of the wrong choices, just like I did. So it kind of touches my heart to be involved in this production because, yeah, it kind of has a reflection on who I was.
I think that's a very good point that you just mentioned. And um, I told myself, and I'm going to be honest with you, ladies, I told myself, I don't want to do too much research on Miss Gwendolyn Levi. I don't, because I think, just like in Mr. Rudy's case, I mean, they they fabricate things. They make things. They pin stuff on you. They make you seem out to be this. And I think that's that. You know, a lot of people fall victim to reading too much information, watching too much news, and listen to what people that don't really know you are saying about you. And then all of a sudden we start believing it to be true. And it's just not right. It's just not right. So I wanted the opportunity to speak to you personally without reading all of that information. It's easy. You can Google your name right now. All kinds of stuff pops up. You Google Miss Gwendolyn Levi right now. It's a list that goes on and on, interviews and you name it. And at the end of the day, how I mean, unless you're speaking yourself, how much of it is really true? You know, so I started, you know, being in this media industry, I started to learn that watch it sometimes, and that's why we're actually doing this show here this evening instead of where I wanted to do the show, because sometimes you have to stand up for certain things that you believe in, and just and continue to fight and press forward. And you're a perfect example of that. Perfect example of what I'm talking about. In the chat room here, we have you know, somebody that his name's Bobby Carbos. He follows the show no matter where it goes. Thanks for watching the show, Bobby. Once again, Bobby says, "Come on, Derek. I'm more afraid of a strong woman than any man." And you know what? He's got a great point. And thank you for that, Bobby. Yeah, you know, there's nothing worse than a woman scorned. But in this case, that's not it. You were talking about living a pretty good life. You made the decision to do what you did. You didn't have to do it. And um, I'm not sure a lot of people really know that or think that. I think a lot of people just think because you're from the city, you was put in an environment where you had to do what you were doing. And just, I know you touched on it, but that was out of what you just said as this this interview develops, shocked me the most. I thought it was more something that you felt as though you had to do to survive.
No, definitely not. I excelled in school. I was really, really good in school. Uh, my family is uh, so connected even today. My sisters are still doing things. We didn't so much weren't religious, but they were spiritual and practice what the word said, practice what the Bible said. It wasn't so much that they taught it or preached it, they lived it. My family lived a good Christian life. And I saw that coming up. I was raised like that. My sisters and brothers were raised like that. And even today, my family still gives back through their church, through organizations. They're all, when I came home, they were already doing giveaways, clothing drives, dispersing food in our community. They were already doing things, so it was easy for me to kind of like get into that mode of giving back to my community because they already had avenues set up for me to go to walk down.
What?
And then I came across other people, Tamala. She's been a godsend to me. Um,
Let's real quick here because I'm not. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. What'd you
coming
say?
coming from the background that we both come from, the streets, You know, to see the transformation in her, it's just, oh, it's awesome. It really is. Just to see the transformation in her, it's awesome. Her story is as unique as mine, and probably will get told, and maybe if not tonight, on another night, you need to do her story because it is a unique one also. But yeah, she's been an inspiration to me. There's so many people. I have some sisters. My sister Magretta, my sister Pam. I have a niece, oh, a son, a couple of sons, four
Wow.
sons.
You
I mean,
have four sons.
they're that's what drives me to let them know that those 16 years were not in vain. You know, and I made that decision once I went in and the judge said I had 400 months. That's a long time. And I knew I had to do something with it. If I had to serve that time, I had to make something and do something with it. So, like I said, I wasn't forced into the decisions that I made early. I made bad decisions. And like I said, so many young women are making those bad decisions today. And I just want them to see. And this play, like I keep going back to it, it's a good example of making bad decisions
And
when
and
you
so
don't have to.
and so I do want to get back to the play, and I want to talk to Miss Tamla a little bit more because I want to know a little bit that connection between you and her. You touched on it a little bit, but I want to delve just a little bit deeper before we close the show. But something you said is still blowing my mind because you being, and I know it's crazy because when you got as much attention as you have via media, we all have to know your age. That's like something that you don't ask women how old they are. That's like a no, you don't ask. But we all know how old you are. But how about your mom being as old as she is and having such longevity as she's had? What I mean, what is in the genes there? I mean, how is she doing? How has she dealt with all this that's happened to her daughter?
My mom is awesome. She is healthy, great mind, still the matriarch of our family. Nothing goes on. You don't make a decision in my family. I don't care if you're 5 years old, 7 years old, or 45 or 76 years old like I am. You don't make a major decision unless you can consult with divorce. And she's just an awesome woman of faith. You know, when my judge told me I had 400 months,
Jeez.
my mother must have calculated that she was in the courtroom. And the prosecutor was really hard on my mom because she thought my mom kind of like was involved or knew what I was doing. My family didn't know what I was doing. So what happened is my mom, when she realized how much time that was, my mom walked over to the prosecutor and said, you know, we live to be in our hundreds. My mom's
I
95.
love it. I love it.
Yeah.
With
So,
all that time, that's what
you
she
know,
said. I've been
I
on the
wanted that
judge is
lady to
like,
know,
whoa.
she thinks she's gonna be 93 when she comes out. She's gonna be 93 when she comes out. Well, guess what? She's coming out at 93.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. That's the kind
That's
of,
incredible.
I mean, she goes down to the flea market and helps my sister. They have giveaways. I mean, they spend their own money and buy things, and then they just give them away. They do book bag giveaways at the beginning of the school year. They're now getting ready to do toy giveaways for Christmas. My family's just awesome. So it's not like I wasn't trained into this. I wasn't geared towards this. I had good examples.
You your message it's taught me a lot, and I think any and everybody that's watching this right now feels the same way. Anybody that'll watch this show when it replays will also feel the same way. You have touched me. It's obvious you've touched a lot of people around you, and I actually want to ask Miss Tamala right now, what kind of influence you've been for her, and how long have you all been knowing each other? Is this? I mean, it's obvious that you, Miss Tucker, have known Miss Levi for a very long time. Can you speak a little bit on your relationship?
Really want to tell my age, but I've been knowing Miss Levi for like 40 years.
Wow. 40 years, 40 years. I mean, obviously you didn't tell your age, and I appreciate, not you not doing that, because that means I don't know. And I'm not going to ask either. But what has she meant to you way back then? Because obviously there was no play, concept in mind way back then. What was the relationship like then for you not to be blood relatives? How did you all meet, and why did you have that kind of connection?
So I lost my mom at a young age, in my late 20s, and I had received a sentence. Uh, Through the period of time my mother was in hospice. Uh, she became a very good, positive person in my life, like a mother figure. I was sentenced to 8 months in Virginia. And so she packed my furniture. She came to visit me. She even, when they decided to take me out of the county, because they had gave me a stay because I was losing my mom at the time.
Oh,
They
I'm sorry.
gave me a stay in the county, but they transferred me out like 12 o'clock at night to this Goochland. And so when I got there, I told the social worker, I said, Miss, I had to stay in the county because I just lost my mom. And the judge said he wanted my family to be close to me to keep me in the county. So I called her and she got me out of there in 30 days.
30 days. 30 days, seriously? I think we might have lost your mic a little bit. Miss Tamla, can you hear us? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? All right, there you go.
Can you hear
You're
me?
back. Yep, you're back now. What said
Can you
that?
hear me?
Yeah, I can. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear
I
me?
hear you all. Yeah, I hear you. I just missed the very end there.
So my life had changed enormously.
Look like,
You can hear me? So
yeah,
I had changed my life enormously, and I embraced her when she
yeah. I
came
think
to support my spirit
your camera's freezing a
and
little bit.
love.
Yeah, I think your camera's freezing a little bit, Miss Tamla.
Your phone's freezing.
So um, I was just grateful to be able to love on Miss Levi. I was grateful to be able to be a part of her new beginning because I know God had gave me a new beginning. And sometimes you can find yourself being selfish with your new beginning, and you can't. You gotta embrace another individual that who is positive. And also, Miss Levi, when she speaks about reentry, I watch her. I watch her with the play, and I watch her when she stepped into this arena talking to you. This
Hmm.
is destiny for her to reach out and help others with who are reentering society, because she starts speaking fluently. She
Yeah,
just utterance off her tongue. So it's her gift to be able to give back to seniors who are coming home who don't have no family. Some of them don't have no families, and she needs the outlet to be able to give this to seniors and individuals who are coming home from the federal prison, because it's not a lot of adversaries that they can tap into. They need someone like her that can advocate for them.
yeah, I agree. And I mean, you hit it right on the head when you said this is her arena. You can tell all of a sudden, and you all know her. You've known her for 40 years, right? You know her well, but I noticed that she just she acclimates so well. She just goes right into yeah. I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you just fine. Can you all still hear me? I can still hear you.
Okay. So, you can't be selfish these days when you moving in a new positive direction. You have to embrace women, and women are powerful. And we have a lot of women in the play. And everybody goes through something. So you just have to embrace each other and share love because there's so much pain out here, especially since the pandemic. I noticed that it's a lot of mental health that
Mm.
women are dealing with. So we just need to reach out and touch one another and communicate and embrace one another so we can become as one
Oh,
because unity is important these days.
yeah, and that's what I witnessed. That this is what I'm noticing from this interview. This is what I've never met. You know, none of you ladies, and for me to see what this plays all about by hearing you all talk, hearing the story, where it comes from, the essence of this production. All it does is make me want to see it even more. And anybody that's watching this feels good. You where you think somebody might be telling a same old tale, same old story. How many times have you heard this story? Well, maybe not so much. The embodiment of this whole play, from what it sounds like, comes from something way more deeper than some simplified story. It seems like there's a lot more to it. There's depth. You know what I mean?
It is
Am I
that.
making sense about that? Like it's more to it, and it's because of the wisdom that was put into it. So if you take young folk that may or may not know some things, or have been through anything, they create something. What they've created is going to be a little different than somebody that's been through a lot, and they can put more intricacy into what they've created, so you can get a
Yeah.
different perspective. I hear it talking to you. I heard it talking to Miss Levi. There's something there that you're going to feel, and you're the executive producer and the director. So what your attitude, your presence, you've embedded into this production. So that's what you expect to get out of it. I can see, I'm a producer myself. I'm a director myself, so I know how I would like to coordinate something similar, to what you're doing. So talking to you now really makes me feel like, man, this is going to be something more than what I think people are expecting.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. And that's just me being truthful, like I'm going to be on these shows, and like I am on all my shows. When I talk to my guests, because I want to know the truth. I want to know what really empowers people to do what they're doing. So that's pretty much the take I have on it. Now I do want to talk a little bit about the after party, because we haven't mentioned that yet. So let's talk a little bit about the after party. Let's give that location. Did I put that on? I don't know if I
So the after party is going to be at Goldie's Carryout and Lounge, which is my brother Randolph Smith restaurant. It's at 6212 Ricestown Road, and it will start Sunday at 9 p.m.
yeah,
until 12.
yeah, there it is. So the after party's at Goldie's Carry Out and Lounge, from 9 p.m. to 12 p.m. And that what day is that going to be on again? I'm sorry.
Day at 9 p.m.
What you said? What day?
Sunday,
Sunday.
Sunday.
Okay. So
Yes,
so that's going to be the 21st. Um,
yes.
9 p.m. to 12 p.m. So for everybody, and is this just for the cast, or is this for everybody who would like
It's
to
for
come to?
everyone who wants to celebrate and embrace Rudy. So this is his first play, and it's been a wonderful experience for both of us. So we here now putting up our props, and the cast is here helping. It's just been a great experience for all of us. No one is complaining. Everybody is just loving on one another, and you will see it come out in the play.
Let's talk about
The
Mr. Rudy for
energy
a
is
couple
great.
minutes. What was that like working with Mr. Rudy on this production? You know, I got a chance to actually meet him in person, so I know how great his
Well,
energy
you
is.
know, you're dealing with the boss of the boss, but he's very consistent,
Humble.
humble, positive, and very energetic and precise, which is great.
Yeah.
And he's exuberant. He's embracing this new journey. Um, I believe I'm one of the closest people to him, and I see the light. I see him wanting to tap into this new adventure and this new destiny. So it's great.
So what's next? I mean, I know it's a little early to be talking about what's the next thing. Are you all
So
going to
I will say
travel?
that we will be coming out with a play called The Shoes That Talk.
Oh, you said the shoes that talk. Is that what you just
Yes,
said?
yes.
Can you give me a
So
little
it's
bit
a
more
brand
information?
that
A
I
little bit.
have called The Shoes That Talk.
A brand.
So, and Miss Sherry is going to be the owner of the shoe store that's here with us tonight.
Okay. And by the way, yeah, this isn't Miss Sherry. Miss Sherry, this is Miss Sherry's phone, from my understanding, right?
So I'm
Because
going to give you to Sherry, okay?
yep, good
Well,
talking to you
nice
about
talking to you.
it, and hopefully I get to see you Sunday in
Yes,
person.
yes, and thank you.
No problem. Thanks for coming on the show. We're not
Yes,
done yet, but soon we'll be wrapping up. And thanks again.
okay.
All right.
Here's Sherry.
Hello.
Hey, hey. So I mean, the show's been great. This is why I love live shows. I mean, look what's happening. I mean, you get a little bit of technical difficulties here. You guys are sharing a phone now, and this is and there's Miss Gwen. This is the beauty of live TV. It's just the way it is, and you can detect the stuff that ain't good. And that's what I like. I like because I like people to be who they are, and especially when you're beautiful people doing a beautiful thing. And these stories need to be told. Um, just like Miss Tamala was saying, what Miss Gwen is doing in that power movement for people who are dealing with these kind of situations. Somebody's got to have a voice. Somebody can be the voice. And a lot of times, you know how it is in life. We can listen better to somebody that has been through something even similar to what we might have experienced. It's just easier when somebody's like, man, yeah, I can tell because that person, they've been through it. So they ain't just up here talking about, something that they don't know nothing about. No, Miss Gwen, no, she's been through it. And you'd be hard pressed to see somebody who's went through, you know, things tougher than that. Male, female, you have it. So when people like that talk, I listen. That's how I learn. That's how I get better every day. Is
Right.
listening to people like that. So me personally, I'm very appreciative, and I'm not just saying that. Everybody that knows me that might be watching this show or watch it later, they're like, yeah, that's who that guy is. And that's why, you know, um, we got to continue to do what we're doing. That's why I do shows like this. That's why you were on Steve Harvey's show. That's why people are coming out to you, Miss Levi, to interview you and hear your story. They want to know who you are, what powers your mind to think the way that your mind works. And here you are, you've got a play that you're actually in. I mean, like it seems like a fairy tale, you know. So um, I'm very very impressed, and I do want to talk to Miss Sherry. I know we didn't speak with you. Well, I didn't speak with you that much um, on this particular interview. There was so much to cover, but y- what is your connection to Miss Levi? I mean, how did you feel when you knew that you were going to be in a production with her? I mean, what kind of feeling overwhelmed you?
I actually just met Miss Levi beginning of the play,
Mhm.
but I met her due to Uncle Rudy and Miss Tucker.
Okay,
So
so
and I love her energy.
so Mr. Rudy, he's your real uncle.
Well, I was married into the family
Okay,
at
you
one
was
time.
okay. Okay, at
Yeah.
one time you was married into the family. Okay, hey, that's
Hmm.
family. That's family nonetheless. You know,
Yep.
I know how it goes. Trust me. But but that's awesome. So you, I mean, you know, you're around greatness. I mean, both of those individuals. I mean, we can tell stories forever. And I do want to go back to the chat room here real quick because Miss Selena and I know Selena had some involvement. She helped out with the play as well, correct? Um, it- yeah. So I know that because I know Selena. Her and I we actually doing some business together as well. She says in the chat room that Miss Gwen's story should be made into a movie. Imagine that. Imagine
Hmm.
look at the look on your face is priceless. It would be an amazing tale. Of course, don't worry. The thing about it, she's an actress now, right? You might have to play yourself. Not, you know, you would probably have to get somebody to play your character. You know, who you would be portraying you. So, what would you want to play yourself in a movie? That's a good question.
No, no.
Just wants to direct it.
Yeah, for the record, the answer is no. So nobody will ask. So of course, you know, somebody would have to play you, but it would be a very compelling story. People would probably, you know, rush to the theaters to see that as well. And that's all that's happening now. I mean, people's lives are being turned into movies. I mean, true stories. I mean, hey, why not? I mean, not that you. The thing about those kind of stories is a lot of people they don't want to relive that stuff again. You know, it's like, look, I lived it once. Why the heck do I want to
I'm telling
relive? Yep, keep you know. But I guess you're in a position now. That's what all the interviews and all are about. People are asking you to recall your life a lot, and I'm sure. And that's a question. Does it ever get old? These constant questions about your life and everything you've been through.
sometimes, but I see a purpose in it, not just to tell my story, but to let other people know that there is such a thing as second chances. There is such a thing as redemption, transformation, and forgiveness. You know, I've paid my debt to society. I know that what I did, I wasn't wrongfully convicted. I'm not going to go there and say I would, you know. But one time, I got a letter from an Innocence Project, and I told them, don't waste your time. You know, that was not the truth. So I know the truth, and I know that my truth can help somebody else. So I don't mind telling it in that aspect, not for the glory of it, not for the oh acclamations that it might bring me,
Sure.
but for the help that it might bring another young lady or another young man uh, who is struggling. For someone who's still inside and is losing hope, I want them to know that some of us come out here and we're going to work to get you out. We're going to do all that we can. We're not going to forget who we left behind. You know, so there's a purpose in the madness. There's a purpose in me continuing to tell my story, and it's not just to tell my story, but it is to let people know that There are thousands of people just like me, especially seniors who are languishing. We're warehousing people in prisons, people. I mean, there are people who've done 40 years, 50 years. Rudy did what, 30 some years?
Yeah, 31.
31 years, you know?
Hmm.
Come on now. At some point, who are we serving?
Yeah,
Not society, because people like Rudy 20 years ago could have been out, and look how many young men's lives he might have transformed because
sure.
he's doing that now. You know, he's talking to young men, he's letting them know that there's another path that they can take. He's advocating for young men to do some different things in Baltimore right now. You know, so there's thousands of people still inside who could come out and help make Baltimore a much better person. We need some better reentry programs in Baltimore. There are a lot of things that we need, but as people come out like Rudy, myself, we're not just two people. There are
Yeah.
hundreds of us in this city right now, and we want to bring us all together so that we can start doing some things to make sure that those that we left behind, when they come out, they won't have to go through some of the things and the pitfalls that we went through.
Yeah, I'm all for it. Anything I can do to help, just let me know. Is there something that you're doing now? Is there I don't know, some kind of support group by name? How are you all reaching out to people? Is there if there was somebody right now in need of your services or help, are you offering your services to people who are going through these issues, or is that just
Right now, right
right?
now, I'm working with an organization called Maryland Justice Project, a powerful young lady, Monica Cooper, who is doing a lot of reentry work in the city. She does a lot of, the organization does a lot of legislative work. We've recently advocated for a Juvenile Restoration Act, which will allow young people who are sentenced to life in prison as juveniles to receive a reconsideration. Uh, we're working on lifers bills to make sure that people who are sentenced to those life sentences can get back into a review process. There is a review process after a certain amount of years. So there are groups like that that I'm volunteering and working with that are doing advocacy work to help people who are coming home. Um, I belong to what they call a public safety committee, and we're talking to people all around the state to find out exactly what is going on in the public system, in the criminal justice system, that is allowing our people to languish in prison for so long, or to be wrongfully accused, as some of them are. There are a lot of avenues that have people inside, and we're just trying to figure out what we can do now that we're on the outside to help those who we left behind.
You could have just got out of prison and just lived your life, but all that time you spent behind bars and incarcerated, you decide to get out and spend all this time, all your free time, extra time trying to help others. How about that? I mean, it's very admirable. I mean, and I always wonder how people find the energy to do so much like that. Um, and you're living proof, Mr. Rudy, living proof. And like you said, there's so many others that are out there fighting this battle. I'm at loss of the real words that I want to say to you to to really explain how I feel about what you're doing, and what people like you do to help others. It's incredible, and thank you. I mean, if that's a good word to use to a couple words to say to you right now is thank you for what you're doing. I really appreciate you, and I will get a chance to meet you in person, uh, along with the rest of the crew and cast. So thanks again. I will see you Sunday. It looks like we lost your camera there, but while we're trying to get, oh man, while we're trying to get Miss, there she is. There she is. Yeah, I got a problem because when you know, I guess maybe I can get a little sensitive when I'm dealing. I got a mom. My mom's name is Sadie Harris, and when I look at you, I see my mom years from now. and it just does something to me, you know. And and again, what you're doing, you know, people need to understand what it takes for someone to do what you're doing after coming home. All that time you were away, you would think people would just want to, I don't know, go to an island somewhere, you know, enjoy the sun, lay on the beach, you know, have a couple. You understand what I'm saying, right? But instead, what do people like you and Mr. Rudy do? Oh, I'm gonna get home and I'm gonna just start helping people, you know. And it's just I don't know. It's quite interesting, for lack of a better word, right now. So I just, again, I want to thank you guys. I will come and see you all Sunday. I want to see the play. I want to support. So I will be there for that. And just as before I close it out, it's 9 o'clock, and you know I could go on and on asking you all questions, about everything that you've been through. What what inspiring and something that you would say to somebody watching this show right now that could possibly change their life? What would you say to them right now about, maybe not going down the path that you took once upon a time?
All that glitters is not gold.
That
That's
is
the
great.
advice I. All that glitters ain't gold. And to
Wow.
think about the choices they're making, look in the mirror on a nightly basis. I had to do it. Look in the mirror every night and tell yourself who you are. You can lie to a lot of people, you can lie to everybody, but when you look in that mirror, tell yourself, were you a thief today? Were you a crook today? Did you offend somebody today? Did you disrespect somebody today? Tell yourself the truth, and you won't tell yourself a lot of negativity every night. You'll start to realize who you are, and you'll want to see a better person in that mirror.
Very well spoken. And just before we close, Linnea Jordan, she said, "Thank you for your story." She's probably sitting there. I know her. She's probably sitting there like I am, just kind of a little bit ready to break down in tears. But just because the story just means so much, and it hits home for a lot of us, you know. Um, and just more. I'm sorry. I'm not going to read every last message here, but um, that whole thought of your life story becoming a movie, for people like myself, uh, and Lynette, it really sounds pretty interesting. So thanks for those thanks for those thoughts. Thanks for that thought, Selena, for even wishing that into manifestation. So, and I know I see the look on your face. Don't worry, it's not going to happen yet. But somebody quietly, you know, there's a bunch of writers all over the place watching this show right now. They probably already started writing it. Now, the only thing about that is they're going to need to sit down with you and really get the true details before they can really get going on your story. So, well, how about that? That's a good question for you, from me. Have you written a book yet, or is that something that you would be interested in doing? Is writing a book about your life?
I have it.
Oh, you have it already.
I have not.
Oh, you have not. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Well, that probably could be a potential bestseller. Just saying. Just saying. Yes, yes. So, but look, I know it's getting late. You all have to start getting ready for your show, your shows, because it's going to be a busy weekend. And what's tomorrow? Thursday. So you don't have too much more time. And it looks like, so you are all at the location now where the show is going to be taking place.
Yes, we are. We had practice tonight.
Okay, so it's getting late. I know everybody's probably getting tired. Look, it's been a great interview. Thank you for sharing this time with me, and my audience. You know, we had some pretty good
Thank
numbers. I can't
you.
wait. Say, oh, no problem, no problem. Listen, I want to bring you
Thank you
back
for
on.
having us on and allowing us to share with you our vision for this play. And not only that, but what we see that can be done in our city. There's a lot of negative things going on, but there's some positive things, and if people look closely, we're going to start bringing some of those positive things out for our city.
Absolutely. And like I said just a second ago, I'll do what I can to help myself as well because I do
Thank you
shows
so
like
much.
this. You're welcome. I mean, I like to just put information out there as much as possible so people get a chance to, see true shows, not just turn on your TV and there's basically a script on every news channel as to what they should be showing and what they should be talking about. It's shows like this. I'm not the only one out there. A lot of shows, essentially called podcasts, whatever you want to call it, that are trying to be a different avenue for people to get information from. And I've had, as far as I'm concerned, one of my best guests and series of guests this evening. So once again, thank you for your time. There's something else I wanted to say before I close out with you here. One more time, the after party is taking place at Goldie's, correct? Goldie's.
Goldie's on Ricerstown Road. It's Goldie's Curry Out and Lounge,
Goldie's
Ricerstown
Care.
Road. But more important than the after party, come see the play.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You
Come
won't
see the play.
go to the after party until after the play. So you have your choice out there too, ladies and gentlemen. You can go Saturday, you can go Sunday, but make one of those days. Please come out and support. This is something very major. There was a lot of thought, effort put into this production, so I appreciate you all. And again, I'm not going to keep you no longer. Is that Miss Sherry over there? I see you, Miss
Yeah,
Sherry.
he's still here.
I see you. I see you. Look, hey,
Yeah.
look. It was a pleasure
Tucker
having you
had to
on.
go. She had to go back into the production of the play.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure I cover everything before I close this show out. I think we did. I do plan on bringing you back. That's what I wanted to say. I'm going to get you back on the show, hopefully with more of the cast as well. After the play, and we're going to talk about, after it premieres, and we're going to talk about how everything went and then what the plans are going to be moving forward from there. Okay. So thank you
Oh,
again. Appreciate you so much. You have no idea how grateful I am to you for being on this show. Thank you so much. And everybody who participated, Miss Tamala, I want to thank her. Miss Sherry, I want to thank her. And of course, you, Miss Levi, thank you for everything that you have done and that everything that you're doing and plan on doing in the future. We really appreciate you. Okay.
okay. Thank you again for giving us this avenue to share what we are doing. Thank you.
You're very, very welcome anytime. You have a great evening, and I will talk to you all soon. Good night, all right? And tell Mr. Rudy I say good night. And when you see Mr. Earl, tell him I say good night as well. I'll talk to him
Okay.
soon as
Thank you.
well. All right, good night now. Take care.
Good night.
Wow. There it was again. Y'all saw me trying to keep myself together. For some reason I got a little sniffles and oh man, those kind of stories, wow. They can impact anybody. They do. They have and they will continue to do so. It's all about how much you care. Well, what do you care about anymore? It's hard to tell what people care about. You find things that satisfy the flesh, and that's all that matters, it seems like, to a lot of people anymore. But for me, it's got to be different. It's got to be more. There's more to it. Those simple, minor, brief satisfactions, they don't do it for me anymore. They don't. They come and go, right? Where's the essence anymore? What are you something to believe in, something to fight for, something to stand for? What happened to that kind of stuff? As I get older, more seasoned in my life, um, those minuscule things, they don't matter as much. I gotta be here to do more. There's gotta be more. There's more for you all out there too. You just gotta find what it is. And if you're happy doing what you do, then that's fine. That's fine. And I see you, Bobby. Before I cut out here, I will acknowledge that. And every person has a potential for greatness. That's exactly right, Bob. And just don't settle. I'm not settling. And I'm excited about this show. I'm excited about All That Glitters Ain't Gold, their play. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a major hit. Um, I know I've said it 100 times on this show, but I do plan on being at the Sunday show. So when I come back on the next show, next Speak Your Mind show, I can tell you, I can tell all of you how that show was, and how I appreciate it, and how terrible it was for you that you weren't there. But all jokes aside, love you all. Thanks for hanging in there for another episode of Speak Your Mind. Not sure who next Wednesday's guest is going to be just yet, but there will be a guest or not. It might just be me, you know. You all have a good rest of your week, a good weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Good night. Be safe.